So, hey everyone, we have Divyanshu here. He is an award winning modern day technocrat, an entrepreneur, and a global community builder. He is a founder of massive VR, AR, MR global community that he founded in January 2017. So, Divyanshu, can you tell us how did you get started with VR, AR,
Mhm.
MR?
Sure. So it was a long story, but like I will I will make this story short. So it I was in my college when I started. So I used to study in Manavrajna, and there I was doing bachelor's in information technology. So I used to work in my innovation lab, and at the time I used to work on a different project. So I was working on a Bluetooth based ad hoc mesh network technology to create an application during the disaster time so that person can connect and chat using Bluetooth technology. And after completing that project, I was exploring to work on a project. So it was October 2015, and me and my friend was going for a dinner break. So we met with a deadly accident. So I got my knee fracture and my friend got his wrist fracture. So
Oh,
during the time, like doctor, yeah, advises for the physiotherapy, rehabilitation, and bed rest. But in India, like the services were very limited, so we need to travel a far distance from our home to the clinic, and traveling daily with a plaster, it had more pain to the injury. And also the conventional therapy was very monotonous and boring, so it doesn't engage and motivates us to do regular exercise. So similarly, I was exploring and doing more research. So I found like the children suffering from cerebral palsy required regular physiotherapy exercise. So I visited the Special Children's School in Sector 14 in Faridabad, and then I met them, and like they were doing regular exercise, physiotherapy exercise using the conventional method, and they were feeling very frustrated. They don't want to do that. So then I decided like to use a Kinect sensor, and then I created a virtual rehabilitation platform called Physio. So Physio makes physiotherapy fun and convenient. So it tracks your body motion gesture and tells whether you perform therapy properly or not. And so we tested it on more than 800 users in Asian, Fortis, Medanta, and got an amazing feedback. So that's how like I started with the work I was doing, and then Microsoft invented a HoloLens. So I was exploring the new thing, how we can make it more immersive and engaging. So at the time I started like working on a HoloLens, and during the time in India it was 2017, and no one was working on the like HoloLens here, and there was no community. So I was looking for someone like who can guide me, uh, like coming from a VR or AR background. So the absence of a community inspired me like to fill this gap. So I started VR, AR, MR, and started creating evangelism on VR and AR technology. And that's how like in last 3 years we have impacted more than 100,000 people so far through
wow.
meetups, hackathon, and different events. So in India we are in 7 cities, and internationally we are in 15 cities. In during the pandemic time too, we were doing e-meetups to inspire and engage the community. So it was like that.
That's a very commendable job, man. Would you
Yeah.
say that your accident was the reason behind starting Spyro Studio?
Yeah. So I never thought of like coming into entrepreneurship, but it was, I think, a destiny, or I just like met with an accident, and accident suddenly changed the life purpose. And also like I give credits and all efforts to my mentor, Mr. Rupam Sharma, who really encouraged me and guided me during this journey. So I really like never thought of, but that accident, sometimes like accidents are good in life, so it was good for me. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what were the initial challenges that you found out
Mhm.
in your journey when you started VRAR MR?
Mhm.
Because as you just said that there was no
Mhm.
community existed at that point of time, and there was no
Mhm.
proper guidance or like a structured way to help
Mhm.
someone out with respect to VRAR MR. How did you pull that off? Like,
Mhm.
what were the initial struggles, and how did you overcome it?
Uh-huh. Sure. So the biggest challenges was the hardware, because like if you're working on a AR technology, because you're coming from that background, so like the hardware was super expensive, super expensive. Like
Yeah,
go beyond the limitations. Like you can't buy to even do the pilot project.
true.
So that was the biggest challenge, and that's why like right now also in 2021 people are unable to use this technology for the personal uses. Only
Hmm.
the enterprises are using.
Hmm.
So hardware is the biggest challenge. Then there was a challenge to find a good team, because right now like if you find a people who are expertised in VR or AR development, or know like the UI UX aspect of applications, how it gonna work, they're like very limited, and the universities doesn't have the courses on VR and AR. Everyone is just like focusing on data science, AI, machine learning, but this segment is still untouched. So the challenges were first from the hardware side, and another was like to find a good team
Hmm.
who knows like the technical and the design aspect of VR and AR.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Understood.
So still, I
So,
think like this is the biggest missing gap
hmm,
which you are filling right now, and you're doing commendable work in this. Like congratulations for decreasing down the hardware cost and making it accessible to the people who are coming from middle and the upper middle segment. So
thank you so much.
yeah, it's very inspiring. Mm.
Thank you so much, Divyanshu. So, since you
Mhm.
said that there were these challenges that you were facing at that point of time, I'm very sure some of them still are persistent. Like today, also, you might be facing many more new challenges as well as some existing challenges that you are still facing at that point of time. Can you tell a little bit
Mhm.
more about that? Like, what's
So
still,
still like
which problem is still not fixed, and what are the
uh-huh.
new problems that you have and that you are encountering today?
Uh-huh. So one of the biggest problem here in India, if specifically like talked about India, like still people are not able to understand about the technology mostly.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if we compare like the 40% to 55%, if we tell them like this is a virtual reality, they said like why not just like a kind of a video? We
Hmm.
go with the video, so they don't understand the kind of engagement, immersiveness, and the powerful experience it brings like VR or AR. So they're not understanding what powerful communication it brings, what powerful learning experience it's bring. They still like typically thinking about why we are going beyond the limitations. This is like why just only, why not like we just go with the YouTube videos. So they are unable to understand
Hmm.
VR and AR. They just relate it with the old conventional methods. So this is the challenge where people are not able to accept the future technologies. So
Hmm.
they're stopping this market to like grow beyond the limit. So that's a challenge. And another challenge was hardware, but you are already fixing that up. And the third one discussed about the team. So
Yeah,
still it's difficult to find because very few people are there in this industry,
got it.
but we need more workforce who is capable of doing VR and AR. As the market is growing, like the VR and AR is only bringing more investment nowadays from abroad. So it
True.
is also making the country more, creating more opportunities, more job. But we need people to get skilled on this so we can
Correct.
make them self-reliant.
Correct. So through your community, I am sure you must have also started like the
Mhm,
learning, bridging this gap in terms of
mhm,
providing like right courses or right tools to people. So,
mhm.
can you tell a bit more about that? Like, how are you engaging with your community and what kind of value you are
Right.
providing them constantly?
hmm Sure. So community before pandemic was only focusing on the physical activity. So we were doing in-person meetups because we believe in like physical touch where people are coming together, collaborating together, sharing their learnings, working together in a team. So that type of collaboration we were doing. So we have mentors who were sharing their learnings and experience and helping them with the hands-on activities. So we upskill them, we evangelize and make people aware of the technologies. We were doing industry collaborations. We were setting center of excellence for the kids so that they can go and work over there 24/7. So that kind of a culture we were bringing. But during the pandemic, we started with the e-meetups, which was a bit challenging because you can't monitor the progress like working remotely and when the beginners were learning. So it is important like for the beginners to track their progress, that how much they're learning and doing assessment. So physically
Hmm.
it is very easily to, you can monitor physically. But so it was challenging, but it's still like we continue with the with the tutorials and with the learnings for the beginners and doing evangelism. And still like now we are planning a competition for them so that they can also participate and showcase, to provide them a platform and whatever they learn to
Hmm.
do something and create some stuff. Accordingly we can help them after that, if they are looking for some sort of support from the industry, or if they want to pursue with their startup or to connect with the industry. So we are empowering them with the skills. Mm.
Very interesting. So, since you just mentioned that there is a problem when we are meeting physically versus when entire,
Mm-hmm.
our profession converted
Mm-hmm.
into remote after COVID,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
Right.
I'm very sure you are aware of a very powerful technology, a very powerful tool that mixed reality brings. That's holographic calling,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
how do you
Right.
see holographic calling, solving this problem?
Mm-hmm.
What are the pros
Right.
and cons to it? And
Mm-hmm.
when do you think, like people, how do you think it solves the current challenges um,
Mm-hmm.
in working remotely and connecting with people?
Right. So it's the best thing, and I think like this is something which is the future, where we don't require cell phones to get connect. We just like easily gonna connect with anyone, and we can see them like with the we can interact with their hologram. So it's going to be like a physical touch, even they are not there in the same room. But the challenge is like this can be possible only in the developed nation for now, like Europe, US, and some developed nations. But in India and in the developing nations like Africa, it's still bit challenging because people the on the personal level no one can afford,
True.
and enterprises are currently using this for the training purposes only.
Hmm.
So this is the best thing and this is the future, Rishi. But when it comes to the developing nation, there is a great barrier with the hardware side still. So I
Absolutely, but
think,
that
yeah.
that's that problem is
Mhm.
gonna get solved, I think, very shortly because a lot of companies,
Mhm.
including Google, Facebook, Microsoft,
Mhm.
like Amazon,
Mhm.
every single tech company, the largest tech companies,
Mhm.
are putting money
Mhm.
into AR VR space, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if people are
Right.
investing millions of dollars in this, then definitely like we will very shortly our entire lives gonna change. How it shifted when Android was launched. I think
Right.
very shortly when all these tech
Right.
companies launch their own AR glasses for consumers,
Mhm.
the whole space
Mhm.
is going to change drastically.
Right. Mhm.
So, how do you think this? Since you started, I am very sure you have heard of
Mhm.
companies investing in this, innovating in this space. And earlier, people thought that
Mhm.
this was a fad, like it's just gonna pass away,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
and then basically now that we are seeing it actually happening, starting from 2021, many companies are
Mhm.
releasing their smart glasses this year.
Mhm.
How do you see
Right.
this whole phenomena, like this companies
Mhm.
launching their AR glasses this year? It's going to change the business and the businesses, the way businesses work, the way businesses market
Mhm.
themselves.
Mhm.
How do you see this whole landscape changing?
Right. So I think that Krishi, it will again takes like 1 or 2 years, because suddenly after changing it is not able to, like, it's not possible suddenly like everyone gonna equip with this. So it's kind of a process. So first, like after launching, first enterprises must need to use this. Like, and the problem is with the understanding. Like the enterprises, 40% to 55% are understanding, but others who are like typically just like thinking of why this, why not just like YouTube video, are not adopting. So first, like 100% ecosystem must adopt this, like the enterprises, all the companies who are using either for the training purposes, visualization, marketing, and we just like connecting for the with the brand vision. So first they need to adopt, then like once they adopt, so it happens similarly with Android. First Android becomes popular amongst the companies, and they were creating applications, they were thinking of how they can use this and reach to masses. So then after adopting with the enterprises, like then people gonna understand, yeah, this is something very very valuable because enterprises are making profit out of it, so that the people are start able to buy. So
Hmm.
I think it will take 1 to 2 years. First the top segment must need to use this,
Hmm.
then the bottom segment will follow what exactly they're gonna do. So that's how the
Absolutely.
process going to be. So after 2 to 3 years, we can say like everyone personally going to buy the headset, either for learning purposes, for entertainment, for whatever they want to do. But it will take 2 to 3 years. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's very well pointed out. So, since you say that we were just talking about the hardware part, right? The glasses. So, glasses is
Mm-hmm.
definitely going to
Mm-hmm.
take, say, a couple of years to reach to the masses,
Mm-hmm.
right? Normal
Mm-hmm.
consumers. But
Mm-hmm.
how do you think people are reacting to the mobile AR? Like many companies have already
Mm-hmm.
launched AR, many are in the process of integrating AR in the existing services. And how do you see people
Mm-hmm.
adopting mobile AR?
Mobile AR is the big thing in India and everyone is adopting, because if you see Indian market, we have like more than 600 million smartphone users and everyone can access AR. So that's why AR, mobile based AR is becoming, so if everyone is just like playing with the AR filters, if you see on the Snapchat or Facebook, so it is becoming popular with the games too, like Pokemon Go. So AR, mobile AR is getting accessible, and the companies are also adopting this in marketing so that they can connect with their customers and can give them a sense of familiarity, what exactly they need to they need to buy. So it is also providing brand engagement instead of just like brand visibility, because earlier we have the 2D ads where like you can just see the ad and you can just like not interested or cancel, but you can see the brand name, so the visibility was there but you're not engaging. But nowadays, like with the UGC and augmented reality marketing material, people are engaging with it, and it is really helpful. And that here we are also like doing some work with the VR AR. So we come up with the two products called Magic Time. So we are using mobile based augmented reality in embellishing the customer experience, and another is remotely, where we are helping people with the remote support, remote inspection and upscaling. So mobile based AR, people are accepting and people are doing, because here they don't need to buy a hardware. So
Yeah,
like Indian or the people who are in developing nations, they have this psychology like they can do anything where they don't need to invest
spend money.
for the
Yeah,
first. So yeah, so that's why like this is becoming accessible for the first. Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. So, how do you see
Mhm.
businesses leveraging this tech right now? Because we know that
Right.
people are using it, but I don't see a lot of businesses jumping on it. Jumping
Mm-hmm.
onto this opportunity to like probably market their products better, create better customer experiences, or it
Mm-hmm.
can be like run better form of ads which are like more
Mm-hmm.
engaging. Even
Mm-hmm.
like as you just said, I would like to just add more to it that the ads
Mm-hmm.
that we are talking about here, where people can actually see the 3D model of, let's say, a car or any product. It can be a chair, it can be a car, it can be anything. And in those banner
Mm-hmm.
ads, people can essentially click on it and then
Mm-hmm.
interact with it. They can drag it, they can rotate it, they can change
Mm-hmm.
colors of the car, and all of this is
Uh-huh.
happening inside a banner ad, which is
Mm-hmm.
crazy, right? So,
Yeah. So
so
these kind of label ads are really like replacing the conventional ad platforms. So if you see like Facebook, they are investing a lot like in providing the platform where you can have swipe up games. So brands are providing like runner games or some sort of things where you can play and you can interact with their brands, or playable ads where you can have a configurator. So you can configure and can. So I think like the enterprises are utilizing this because like they're providing more emotional satisfaction to the consumers by giving them choice to decide what they want. So they
hmm,
can change the color if I want to buy a car, and
hmm,
I can like from my home I can customize like this kind of headlamps, this kind of interior, this kind of a color, and then I can just like have a test drive and order. So I don't need to
absolutely
waste my lot of energy in just going and finding out physically, because nowadays Rishi, people have time, oh sorry, people have money but they don't have a time.
true.
So this kind of a technology can help them save time and can just like buy whatever they want. So
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
don't you think that there are very few people or very small segment of the market that is
Mhm.
aware of this kind of ads or this kind of technology? And there is a
Yeah,
very
that's true.
there's a lack of awareness in the market about this
Mhm.
thing. That is
Mhm.
so profitable for businesses as well as so engaging and value adding to customers. But still, I feel
Mhm.
there is a lot of lack of awareness in the market. So how do you see, like how fast do you think these businesses are gonna adopt this kind of technology, especially the mobile
Mhm.
based or web based?
So it is slowly getting adopted because like first like the big enterprises must need to adopt so that the other enterprise or other competitors can see okay, this is something in the market, because as you mentioned there is a there is a very limited awareness of playable ads or swipe up games, but the one who know they are investing and getting into it, and then the competitors are seeing okay, this is a competitive edge we can get, and then they are getting these kind of experiences to craft their brand experience and interact with the community. So it's welcoming, but it's still like awareness is very within a very few groups. So
Right.
in India or anywhere, I think like slowly, once everyone gonna know, they're not going to use the posters or video material. They
Yeah.
will switch to something interactive,
Hmm.
kind of a gaming experience, or AR filters or 3D ads. So this is the new things where they're gonna be.
100%. Like I can't
Right.
agree more. So since we are talking
Mhm.
about since you just mentioned AR filters, would like to understand more how what do you think AR filters play a role in social media and say what kind of brands are generally investing in building these
Mhm.
filters?
Mhm. Sure. So recently, the filter got popular by the Virat Kohli. So Virat Kohli had a his 3D augmentation in real time, so people can see Virat Kohli in their room. So that was become very fancy, and so that helped Virat Kohli also to attract the new fan base. The one who don't know about it internationally, they were getting aware of like this is something new in augmented reality. See this, so they were knowing about more and getting more fan engagement. So that was a new, and another is like close up did their brand advertisement using AR filters, and Mumbai Indians were there, they were creating awareness with the mask. And so these kind of filters are coming in, so they're not only just like helping people getting aware but also interacting, getting more brand recall, getting more retention. So everything is coming together, and that's how the advertisement, that's the purpose of advertisement too, right? Not just
Absolutely.
only able to connect but also to help the consumer to understand what they're looking for. And
Absolutely.
nowadays like everyone on social media is just like looking for something from where they can connect, get involved, right?
Yeah.
So that's what AR filters are doing. Yeah.
True, true. And essentially,
Mhm.
like people has this, innate need to connect and engage with something new, something that's trending. And
Mhm.
I think AR filters also play a significant role over there because,
Mhm.
like due to AR filter, you get access to the 3D space instead of just 2D, say pictures or videos.
Uh-huh.
So you can create
Right.
way more engaging content
Mhm.
in 3D space. Uh,
Right.
where it's just like how you live
Mhm.
the world, like let's say fireworks, or it can be like Coca-Cola did this very amazing
Mhm.
AR campaign, mobile AR based campaign, where
Mhm.
they had their own team,
Mhm.
their can of Coca-Cola, this I think penguins or that kind of there was a ladder laying
Mhm.
on top of Coca-Cola
Uh-huh.
can, and then
Right.
penguins are going up and then diving into the Coca-Cola
Wow.
can, and it was
Uh-huh.
a very engaging campaign. Even
Mhm.
OnePlus did a very amazing launch, that they did the
Mhm.
launch of the latest phone Node in
Mhm.
completely in AR. So it was like a 1 hour launch, which was done in
Mhm.
completely in augmented reality. So
Oh, yeah. So that's
very
how like
like top
as
brands
you
are definitely
mentioned,
catching up.
festival.
Hmm.
Yeah, festive campaigns and product differentiation.
Yeah.
Like both as you mentioned, like there are like two things where people are already using the AR filters. So in the product like OnePlus did this, so now we are differentiating OnePlus from other companies, right? So
Yes.
this is something like unique that they bought. And the festive is like another thing where like nowadays people are in getting involved with the brands to celebrate the festivals. So recently, like we did two campaigns. One for the Dashera, where we tried to spread positivity by like when you laugh, you get like 10 different masks with you, and you're
Nice.
getting mask on your face. So it was a yeah, a bit funny and entertaining. And another was for Christmas. So
Huh.
nowadays, festive campaigns are also getting more immersive.
Hmm.
It is They are getting more interactive. Instead of just like earlier we were doing a banner and just mentioning a discount for festive, but
True.
nowadays we the audience is getting involved in the celebration, so they're becoming a part of the brands. And there's
Absolutely.
a different a new thing where people are really getting emotionally and socially involved. Hmm.
Right. That's
Right.
a very good thought. So, since we are talking about the AR filters, Facebook has
Mm-hmm.
recently partnered with CBSE to launch like a proper course on Spark
Mm-hmm.
AR in
Mm-hmm.
partnership with CBSE. And they are training like
Mm-hmm.
10,000 teachers to deploy the
Mm-hmm.
course. And they are
Uh-huh.
essentially going to teach this course in, say, 6 to 9 standard, or like something like 8 to 10 standard, something like that. And how do you think like this changes the whole like dynamics of
Mm-hmm.
school and like children, because say children of age 15, 16 are going to be creating AR filters on
Mm-hmm.
Spark AR. And
Right.
how do you see like the future with this
Mm-hmm.
kind of partnership, like especially in India, because we know that um, Facebook has a lot of access, especially now with partnership with Geo. It's spreading to
Mm-hmm.
like billions of people in India,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
how do you see them capturing, say, like how do you see the effect of it? Like, is it positive? Is it negative? Is it
Mm-hmm.
neutral? Um,
Mm-hmm.
what do you see in this whole scenario?
Mm-hmm. So it's a good thing like they partner with the CBSE, and I think like this is not only going to do evangelism but also going to give exposure and platform and accessibility to the students. But here I think one limitation is there, like if we need to make this program successful, then we need to first train the trainers. And I think they right now we don't have a good number of trainers who can train students on Spark AR. So first, if we get trainers, then we can get students. Like in trainers, we just don't want them to just know about the user interface of a Spark AR. They must be creative. They must be technically like both. They have both the kind of a skills where they know technical aspect, they know creativity. Because
Hmm.
if I teach anyone just like how to use a Spark AR, then he is not able to do that. But like if I tell him that like you can craft this kind of a story using Spark AR and how you can bring it into this life, then they can understand the potential, then they are going to use this, and that's how they can it's going to be valuable for them, right?
Hmm.
Otherwise it's just like for a outreach or marketing or a branding purpose
Hmm.
that yeah, it's just like happening. So there is a limitation for the trainers, and
Correct.
if we get good trainers who have both kind of understanding, then this is going to be successful.
But
Yeah.
if it gets successful and say the kids are, developing this kind of filters, don't you think like
Mm-hmm.
there's a bigger plan that's going on around here where if you are training the students
Mm-hmm.
for this, then that means that the technology that you are teaching is going to
Mm-hmm.
be everywhere in the future, because that's when you are training the lowest part of this professional pyramid, where the student is just like starting to explore different dynamics. And if say for example right now there are so many startups who are teaching coding to students
Mm-hmm.
for like standard
Mm-hmm.
5, standard 6. A lot of people have
Mm-hmm.
introduced coding. Similarly,
Mm-hmm.
why? Because like all the things like there is a massive demand in tech industry for coders,
Mm-hmm.
right? And children, there are of course pros and cons to it. That some people are saying that okay, like children should be focusing on various physical activities and exploring the world rather than focusing on their career, because their whole life they are going to do that. They have the whole life for it, right? As well as there are other people that are saying that okay,
Mm-hmm.
since these kids are taught coding at this young age, they have the opportunity to build their careers very early,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they get to
Right.
explore new technologies, etc., etc. Now, if we are
Mm-hmm.
also kind of educating the same kids on
Mm-hmm.
augmented reality,
Mm-hmm.
and that, don't you think that just indicates that the future of apps or in general tech is going to be augmented reality?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like here, there are like my two comments on this. Like one is the industry is seeing there is a good potential in the advertisement and marketing sector, and everything needs to be transformed the way we do nowadays. So they need a great workforce, and that's why, like as the point you mentioned, they need more people to get aware and start from the early age so that they can get experienced till that they become professional, come into this. So they're gonna fill this gap, and also as augmented reality is booming, so they need people. But another is like if they are going to teach everyone, like everyone is not going to get into this industry. Like if everyone play cricket, they're not going to become Sachin, right? So the one who wants to become a cricketer, they only just like pursue it very passionately. So they are giving platform and an exposure, and then it depends. The one who wants to go into this, they are going to continue, and the one who don't, it's a learning and an exposure for them.
Got it.
So right, it's
Great.
like that.
I think that's a great thought. So, what else do you want to add something more in general about
Hmm.
augmented reality and how it's basically changing the entire business landscape and marketing in general in India?
Hmm.
Just your last thoughts on this.
Right. Hmm. So we already covered this, but like I think in India, like the landscape is changing using augmented reality as the people are now adopting mobile-based AR, not only just for gaming purposes. Earlier, they were just like you going play just Pokemon Go. It was like AR-based game and created a great fan engagement. Then they moved to entertainment, where they were using beauty filters and entertaining filters. Then now the time is coming where they are using this for learning and training. Like their people are giving more better immersive 3D simulations training in augmented reality. And now the next segment which is coming is like solving the problem, social cause, whereas like the application we bring remotely. So it is like helping industry and
Hmm.
reducing their manpower, reducing their travel time, reducing their operational cost, and reducing their downtime. So these kind of applications are now people are adopting, which
Hmm.
is like really helpful for them
Hmm.
in bringing the change the way they were working earlier. Because in the conventional way, they need to do a physical visit every time. They need to do physical inspections, the guidance they need to go.
Hmm.
So, for example, like Rishi, if you want to guide your colleague in Mumbai who is doing solving repairing a HVAC unit, but now it is possible using augmented reality. Like you
Yeah.
can just connect in the real time, and he gonna show you what exactly where he is stuck, and you can from the Surat you can guide like okay do like this and that, and the problem solved. So there is no further delay, elimination of the travel because you don't need to go there, and both are happy, the client and the customer, and even the frontline worker. So that's how the use cases are coming in, where everyone is becoming a part
Hmm.
of this ecosystem and getting benefited by it, and
Right.
everyone loves comfort. So
Hmm.
this technology is bringing comfort to them as well, right? So
Definitely. Savings a lot of
that's how it
cost
is
also.
transferred. Yeah, yeah, true, because they don't need to invest in anything. Everyone have a smartphone.
Yeah,
Just install the applications, and then it works. Hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Divyanshu, for your time. It was a pleasure chatting with you on variety of
Hmm.
subject. I'm very sure like people will get a lot of value from this.
Hmm.
Thanks so much.
Thank you,
See you
Rishi.
soon.
Thank you for inviting me, and it's really inspiring to see the work you guys are doing with AjnaLens, and it is really transforming and changing the hardware landscape in developing nations. Already you are rocking in the developed nations, but the way you are making it affordable in the developing nations is really challenging. But I really appreciate your efforts in making it possible. So great, congratulations for that,
Thank you
and
so
thank
much,
you for
Divyanshu.
inviting. Yeah,
All the best for your future endeavors.
thank you, Rishi.